Hi, I'm Dr. Schneider, and you have been diagnosed with high blood pressure, and you're wondering, is there an alternative approach for you? Well, no, there isn't one alternative approach. There's many alternative approaches for high blood pressure. So right now you're taking a medication, and your whole focus is to see if that medication can lower your blood pressure. Well, we help you to identify what caused your high blood pressure so that you can correct it and eventually get off your medication. So think about it like this. At one point in time in your life, you didn't have high blood pressure, right? So if you're on a medication, what are you doing to correct the problem and go back to that point in time where you didn't have high blood pressure? Now, there's some very interesting and unique things related to high blood pressure. And you may be wondering why I'm holding this bone in my hand. So this bone could be the key to your high blood pressure. This bone right here is called the atlas. And the atlas is the very top bone in your spine. And inside your spine is your spinal cord and your brainstem. And that's right where this bone sits. So there was a study done that they found that this bone can shift one way or the other or turn, and that can put pressure on your spinal cord and your brainstem, and that can cause blood pressure to go up. Now, you know what was really unique about that is that study was pioneered by some medical physicians who theorized this was a cause. And they actually found that correcting that alignment of that bone was as effective as medication in lowering blood pressure. So that's one thing. Could you have a physical imbalance causing high blood pressure? And the answer is yes. And we do a unique physical exam to identify if that's what's going wrong with you. So that's one thing. Now, the second thing we look at is physiology. So there's things that go wrong in our body with our chemistry that can lead to high blood pressure. And you should understand that because the medication you're taking affects the body chemistry. So we look at the body as a whole to determine if there's any kind of things going wrong that could push your blood pressure up. So I've developed a comprehensive approach to analyzing your physiology. So we have you fill out this questionnaire with 200 questions on it. And I give you this paper about writing your history out. Early on I said, hey, there was a point in time when you didn't have high blood pressure. So we're trying to look at what went wrong that led into that blood pressure elevation. And we're looking over your history so we can identify what it is. So that's two things. So we look at physical, we look at physiological. Now, there's something else that can contribute to high blood pressure. So we have physical, physiological, but we also have emotional, right? So people have high blood pressure because of stress and emotional things that go on in their life, right? So we actually analyze that too. There's really unique things we do to figure out what emotions may be contributing to your high blood pressure. And there's many different things we do, from meditation to emotional release techniques, to help you to correct those things. So that's three things. So we have physical, physiological, then we have the emotional, we have another thing. You probably have heard of the meridian system, the acupuncture system. You may have even heard that people are succeeding at lowering their blood pressure just with acupuncture. So we will analyze your meridian system, we will analyze your acupuncture system with a technique called electromeridian analysis. And we use that to correct the imbalances and help to lower your blood pressure. So that's four things. What are you doing now? One thing. So what do you think's better, one or four? And when we do these things, it's not an all or nothing. You do these things, you monitor your blood pressure, and as your blood pressure is coming down, you go to your prescribing doctor and you give him your records, and you know what he'll say? Hey, wow, that's great. I'm really happy to see your blood pressure is lowering. Let's try to lower your medication. So systematically, you can eventually get this under control, lower your medication, and eventually get off your medication.